Hey guys, how's it going? Happy Friday. I mean it too. We're going to try to make this a happy Friday. I know a lot of you guys are still frustrated and you're pissed off, and you should be. I completely understand. But I think we have a lot of stuff that we're going to be pissed off about, but there's some stuff that we can plan for right now and still some things we can look forward to. Like, I'm looking forward to hanging out with you guys for the next 2 hours, for example. I know a lot of you guys have been looking forward to hanging out with your buddies in the chat all week. So we need to keep our heads up because people say there's all kinds of stuff going on in this country. They say 71% of people who voted for Trump think we're going to have a civil war. Some say it could be a hot one. Some say it could be a cold one. And people talk about fifth generational warfare, right? You've heard a lot about that lately, I'm sure. Well, part of what that means is the other side's trying to completely and utterly morally defeat you. And if they defeat you morally, then your body's not going to be worth a crap. You're going to wake up in the morning and want to go back to bed. And I think we should try to sit here and get encouraged because we're going to have to keep fighting. But we need to fight the good fight because this is a battle of good versus evil. And we can never let this become a communist country. And communist countries don't just happen all in one day. They don't just happen when people come in with battalions of troops and tanks and stuff like that. I mean, that eventually does happen, but it often starts just by reprogramming people. So they can tell you all they want. And I think most of you by now know that almost all of the news is fake. So make sure you pay attention to who you're listening to, which is basically not many people, and try to find your small group of friends and family who truly care about you. You know, you hear these governors and all these different politicians, they say, well, we need to all just get together and for the good of the world and for the good of the country and all this, you all just need to acquiesce and you need to fundamentally change your values. And I say to hell with that. You guys already know what's right from wrong. The people that are truly going to care about you are your friends, your family, people that have been there with you, regardless of who was president, right? And I think we need to take a lot of encouragement from that. Because they've often said, I remember Khrushchev in Russia said, we'll take over the United States without firing a single shot. And that's what communism and socialism has been trying to do for a long time. And we need to have vigor. I'm not saying we need to be weak. Don't mistake kindness for weakness. But we really need to keep our spirits up and have something to look forward to. And so many people feel the need to have a plan. And so many people are asking me questions. So I'm going to go over some things that I would suggest that maybe you get if you have the money, if you have the time in the next 5 days before this supposed virtual, whatever you want to call it, inauguration. Look, guys, I know there's 20,000 troops at the U.S. Capitol right now. I know that's not good. I don't have any security clearances. I don't know exactly why they're there. Half of you probably think they're there because you guys think Trump's going to remain president another 4 years, and they're there to lock in all the bad people. While the other half of you might think that they're there to guard against this inauguration. I don't know. I have my suspicions, but you have to remember, we're on YouTube right now, and you can't talk about everything. The only thing that I'm allowed to say about the election is that according to the Associated Press and according to YouTube, Biden has won the election. Yeah. That's the statement they put underneath this video and most of the videos that people do lately, right? But it's all good, though, because I'm working on some other social media sites right now, and that's another question I've been getting like crazy. So here's how you can help the channel right now. Right now, we're still on YouTube. This is where everyone's at. So if you guys are new here, I'd encourage you to subscribe. That way you'll know where I'm going, or if I just disappear one day, I'm going to be letting you guys know soon some other places that I'm at. Now, of course, some of the other sites we've been liking to use lately, like Parler, that's gone now. I hope they come back, but I'm not sure. They say they're going to come back, and I think they will, but I can't be certain of that either. It's called cancel culture, and they're trying to cancel all of us. But that's why we need to stay optimistic, and we need to look at other places, other things. Heck, I'm kind of the adventurous type. I like to overcome obstacles. As dreary as it all sounds, I almost think it sounds kind of encouraging and fun. Because as long as we can keep this from becoming a communist country, capitalism's going to kick in. And somebody's going to say, hey, wait a minute now. I'll do banking with these 75 million people that voted a certain way. Heck yeah, I'll start up a social media site. And there's got to still be some businesses left in this country that want to advertise with people that maybe they're conservative, maybe they're not, but just normal people, right? Like all of us. Because we're the normal people. Don't think for 1 minute that just because all you hear on the news is this is normal and this is normal and that we're all rejects and that we're all weird. No, we're not weird. We're just the normal people. And we know that. And I'm going to encourage you guys to keep on remembering that. But I think that's what'll happen. You know, on my other channel, which I encourage you guys to also subscribe to, Patriot EDU. My friend and I, her name's Tap Rack and Roll. She's a good friend of mine. She also has a great channel. We've been having some fun lately just doing some short videos talking about just some of the ridiculousness of some of this, some encouraging speeches that we hear from some of these more patriotic members of Congress and things like that. And we're just two normal friends doing little reactions and hanging out, trying to offer you guys some encouragement, right? So I definitely suggest you go over there. Yes, I'm fully aware. At any minute, they could literally just go cancel. 2A EDU's gone. Patriot EDU's gone. I know. And I'm working on some other sites right now. Parler's down. A lot of people mention all these different sites to me. I'm experimenting with all of them. I'm trying them. I'll give you an example. Rumble. Everyone says go to Rumble. That's the new big place to be. Okay. I went over there. I created an account a month ago. I went to upload a video that same day. Went through all the check boxes. I read the instructions 5 times, and it still says that it's processing or pending verification. So after hearing 200 more people suggest Rumble to me, I went on there again just 3 or 4 days ago. And that one was still pending, whatever it was. So I tried to upload another video to it. It's still pending. So I don't know if that site is just so overloaded that it just doesn't work, or if they're anti-gun or what. I tried to upload 2 gun reviews that were already here on YouTube. I am on Gunstreamer, just to let you guys know. It doesn't seem to be a very popular site. I think I have about 91 subscribers there. And usually when I put a video up here, it automatically posts it over there. And if I check, usually I'll get about 5 or 6 views on a new video. So there you go. But I have been on there this whole time for probably about 3 years. And I get it. It's a cool site, and we're all for it. None of us want it to go away, but I'm guessing people just don't like it for some reason or another. Maybe because it's only gun stuff, and people like to look at, I'll give you an example. My exhaust fell off my car, right? Just a couple days ago, ordered a new pipe, went over there. My friend has a shop. We just installed it today. But I was looking up a couple quick things about the exhaust on my car on YouTube. That was awesome, right? And then a few minutes later, I see Uncle Dan here in the chat. What's up, Uncle Dan? Went over and watched one of his videos. So it's awesome. You want to be able to work on your car, listen to your music, and then go watch your gun video or political video. So I get it. And I do a lot of that too. And that's why YouTube has become so popular. But if it gets to the point where they're censoring us and we're gone, then we can't use it anymore, right? So just keep your eye out for updates. I'll let you guys know other places I'm going to be. I'm trying this brand new site that my wife just told me about literally tonight. It was so bogged down. Somebody famous shouted it out tonight. And it's literally so bogged down. It took me like 15 minutes for the page to display. Do you guys remember back when you had dial-up? How you'd go to open the page up, instead of it just appearing, it would come like in layers, like dun, dun, dun. Yeah, like the old 56K modem, or even before that, the old 33.6. I'm going to date myself. Then it was 14.4. Some of you old people are going to know what I'm talking about here. Yeah, it was literally loading like that. So that's what's happening right now. People are just running away from these mass social media so fast. You try to get onto one of the new ones, and the page won't load just because they don't have enough servers. But I'm looking into all of it, and I appreciate all of you guys. I appreciate all of your recommendations. When you guys send me something and say, hey, go check this out, I pretty much always do. As far as answering people's messages on email, Facebook, private messages, I got rid of Instagram off my phone. So if you guys are messaging me there, I'm not reading that anymore. I'll catch up to you guys when I can. I'm literally getting probably 200 to 300 emails a day. Now, that's not because I'm super popular. It's just because everything's so chaotic right now. Everyone wants to reach out. I get it. You guys have sent me awesome stuff, and I've done videos on a lot of your suggestions, but just keep in mind, there's only one of me, and I can't literally answer to 200 to 300 messages a day. Now, before Election Day, I would get like 1 or 2, and I look forward to you guys' messages, but when I'm getting 200 to 300 messages a day from some people, some of them are my best friends too, and they send me like 50 messages from one person. I skim through them the best I can, but I just can't answer everybody. So there you go. And I see you guys in the chat are discussing all sorts of theories. Hey, look, I'm not going to rule anything out, okay? I have no idea. I just don't know what's going on. But here's what I'm going to do. And this is not me conceding whatsoever. Look, I don't concede. None of that kind of stuff. Well, I can't concede. I didn't run for anything. I'm preparing myself. This really sucks. I'm just as mad about it as any of you guys. Do I hope that somebody comes in on a white horse in the 11th hour? Absolutely. Is it possible that that happens? Absolutely. I've been kind of getting prepared for the last couple weeks, and this is kind of my home stretch. I'm getting prepared for, not mentally, I've not accepted it, but I'm physically preparing that Joe Biden could be the president here in a week. And I think you always need to prepare for that. You guys know what I'm talking about. You always prepare that you want to win, and you fight like you're going to win, but you still need to prepare for defeat. Like, what's your exit strategy? What's your plan B? Some of you guys aren't going to be happy I said that. Look, I'm just as mad as you guys are. I'm on YouTube. I can't really tell you how I feel. I'm serious. Look at the terms and conditions on here. But I am preparing for the worst. And when I say the worst, it's going to be bad. And this is going to be an optimistic stream, but you need to recognize there's some physical things that could be happening here. Joe Biden said, if you elect me, I'm going to appoint Beto O'Rourke as my guns are. And Beto said, I'm going to take your AR-15 and your AK-47. That's what he said. Now, if you look back, I streamed about this now, geez, 2.5 months ago. And I read like the multiple pages. It was dozens of pages thick. The Kamala Harris, Joe Biden gun control agenda, right? It's pretty thick. It's pretty draconian. Now, there's the obvious. This is a made-up word. It doesn't exist, but these guns that fall into what they're going to call an assault weapon. It's obvious. They're going to try to go after those. But unless you have tens of thousands of dollars sitting around, it's going to be hard to stock up on those right now. But here's what I did recently. Magazines. Somehow, magazines have not really inflated in price equal to the ammo and the guns and all of that. So I went to a place called RTG, if you guys are familiar, right? And they had a 10-pack of AK 7.62x39. They have them with the bolt hole open follower, and then they have it with the Soviet style, the non-bolt hole open follower. They had a 10-pack of those and a USGI 50 cal ammo can, all packaged together for like $90. And I sat and thought about it, and I'm like, geez, that's actually a good deal from a year ago. They really didn't go up that much. So I ordered an ammo can full. I think if you needed some extra magazines, I know one of my viewers, it might have been Chuck R, just got a hold of me the other day. And I think he said that was Springfield XD mags. A couple places had those. Free shipping if you bought 5. They were like 14 or 15 bucks. That's like half of what they were years ago. Magazines. I definitely think magazines are a good thing to buy. A magazine is not disposable. We know that. Like that one that said we need to ban them because once they shoot them all, they'll all be gone. Do you remember that in California? Of course, they're not disposable. But I put magazines as semi-disposable. Because if you have a solid metal mag, full military, let's say your old Comblock AK mag, if you're out in the elements with it and you don't have time to clean it properly, whatever, preserve it, they can rust. You can drop them and they can dent. Springs wear out. Followers can get bent. Floor plates can get bent. I've seen it all. I've had it all happen to me at least once or twice. Polymer mags, that might be your favorite thing. Well, guess what? They can crack. Feed lips can break. Base plates can break. Again, springs, they wear out over time. The cool thing is this, as of right now, and we can't take this stuff for granted. Stuff could change. Right now, these magazines are not serialized. Some come with cage codes on them. Some don't. But right now, there's no law that it has to have a cage code on there. I'm not a lawyer, but I think I can easily tell you there's nothing wrong with taking on your PMAG and taking a little bit of sandpaper and just getting rid of that cage code. There's no federal regulation right now that keeps track of that. However, it's been proposed that if they're elected, and allegedly, according to YouTube and the AP, they have been elected, right? Hey, Susan, how's it going? Susan Wiki. She's a real beauty, but the other kind of beauty. Susan Wiki's watching all these streams. They're saying they want to make magazines part of the National Firearms Act. Now, the National Firearms Act is where you have to go through all this extra paperwork, right? $200 tax stamp. You also have to serialize with a unique serial number anything that's put on the NFA. So think about that. I think we can add 2 plus 2 together if, and I know it's still an if, but here's the thing. We're going to defeat this. We can never become a communist country, but if they just slip one of these things through and all of a sudden your magazines, there could be some mass mandate that comes out and says all magazines that are sold have to have a serial number. That could be phase 1. It might be all at once. I'll give you guys a story, and it's going to sound like I'm shifting here, but I'm not. This has everything to do with what I'm talking about, with just literally magazines. We call them standard capacity magazines. The other side calls them high capacity, but they are standard capacity. So I remember there was a time back in the day where an AR-15 was like $1,500 to $2,000. We're talking late 80s, early 90s. Very expensive firearm. Now, before this flu or whatever you want to call it, they call it like 26 names. No disrespect to anyone that's sick. I get it. But this Kung Flu, they call it, amongst many other things. Before that, you could literally build yourself an AR for $400, $450 maybe. Certainly sub 5. I saw one guy did a $350 build here on YouTube. Let's roll back to the late 80s. You could buy a Polytech or Norinco AK for $300 to $400. Well, back when you were buying them pre-89, they weren't called anything. They were just called the cheapest AKs you could buy. Well, then George Bush, yes, Republicans pass a lot of gun control, often just as much as the Democrats. Now, that's not because the Democrats don't try. It's because when a Republican passes gun control, the rhinos all come out and support it, as we've seen with many Republican presidents. George Bush put in what was called the assault weapons ban, and that's where he said that you couldn't have more than 10 foreign parts. So all of a sudden, there was a new name that was created in 89. It was called pre-ban. Fast forward all the way to today, these pre-ban, mainly China, Hungary, Egypt brought in a few. These pre-ban AKs are worth thousands of dollars, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. Because they're pre-banned, because once it's banned, there's only a small, minute amount. Now, those of you that lived from 94 to 2004 or were into guns then, you remember the pre-ban mags back then, where if you had anything over 10 rounds, it would say law enforcement and military use only on it. And I do remember that. I think I have a Glock mag right over here. I'll see if I can find it in a second for you. That says for law enforcement use only, because it was a 17-round mag. And even during that time, they didn't make us put dates or serial numbers on them. But what was formerly a $15 magazine in 1993, by the time the 94 Clinton-era AWB went into effect, those mags were going up at their peak. $150 was not uncommon. So I've seen this happen before. Standard capacity magazines going up tenfold. Now, that was back in the 90s. And some states adopted that after it expired federally in 2004, and they've just kept it. Correct me if I'm wrong, but maybe Massachusetts and a couple other states are still abiding by that today. And God bless all of you. I know it's really draconian and hard to be a gun owner. And exercise your God-given Second Amendment right, because these are natural rights endowed by your Creator. They didn't give them to you. We shouldn't have to acquiesce. We shouldn't have to worry about it. But here's the facts of the matter. Even if you wanted to buy a bootleg mag from 94 to 04, you were going to pay $150 for it. On the street, wherever. Because that's what they became worth. The supply became much less than the demand. Now, here's the thing. They've learned because capitalism and American ingenuity took over, and they'd say, well, this isn't an AK-47. This is a sporter. This is a whatever. They'd have the body of a mag that was 30 rounds, but they put a limiter. There were ways that they got around it. Well, the Democrats this time around, they've gotten a lot smarter. And they've even admitted that they watch our YouTube videos. They spy on our social media accounts. They're learning, unfortunately. They're saying we're going to get rid of all of those. They call it loophole. We just call it just being normal, exercising our natural rights. But they say we're not going to let them have any of these loopholes anymore. Now these new ones that they're going to be proposing real soon, they're promising they're going to propose them, and I do believe they will. We'll see them up for vote soon. They're saying that if any part of it shares a part in common with a quote-unquote high-capacity magazine, or their words, an assault weapon, the gun's banned. So if you look at this right now, I just said I went to a place called RTG. I can't even give you the whole name of it because that's how bad this algorithm's gotten. If you guys don't know who they are, email me. I'll tell you later. But I think you know who I'm talking about. If you can get for your AK, now they also have them for the AR. These are those Bosnian mags, AC Unity. I'll do another video for you guys. I've bought several other different generations. They seem pretty good, especially for the money. If you can get 10 mags for your AR or your AK in that 50 cal ammo box, those things are going to be like gold, guys. Those things are so awesome for so many things, like from ammo, from putting loaded mags in them. Even if you're a working guy and you want to have your little electrical toolbox and you don't want to ride in the front of your pickup truck with you, right? Set it in the bed. It can rain on it all day long and protect your $200 Fluke multimeter. You electricians know what I'm talking about. Those tools are expensive. Ammo cans, worth their weight in gold. So if you don't have those, buy them. If you have money right now, buy them. They're commodities. Who would have thought? I was going to find a desktop printer, a laser printer, and because of this flu and everyone working at home, those have doubled in value. No, they're probably not going to ban ammo cans. They could still double or triple in value, though, because so many other people procrastinated. I get it. It's the American way. I procrastinate, too. I'm not blaming you guys, but people are procrastinating. I can see those ammo cans tripling in value, and they're worth it for like everything. Food rations, valuables. You can get these little hinges for them, these little clasps, and put a padlock on them. So, you know, $90, 10 AR mags or 10 AK mags in an ammo can. If you've got the money, I think it'd be money well spent. I think you'd really be happy that you had them. If there does become a thing called pre-ban magazines. Now, look, I get it. There's both sides of it. Some of you out there might be kind of questioning me, right? I get it. I think probably you guys all know where I'm coming from because say, hold on. If he bans them, well, then I don't want to get stuck with them. That's for you to decide. But for all of you guys that say I will not comply, that's when you're going to have to decide what you're going to do with what you have or what you're not going to do with it. Right now, magazines are not serialized. That's what we need to remember. If you wanted to make me guess, at the very least, they're going to attempt it. Will it go through or not? I can't tell you, but they're going to probably attempt to serialize magazines soon. I know they're going to, because if you look at their convoluted scheme of things they want to ban, they're going to have to serialize the magazines. I want as many unserialized mags as I can possibly get, okay? Let's just say that. Who has the ammo cans? You know what? You know what I think I'm going to do, guys? I think I'm going to do a video soon because I was going to do a video talking about how I store my ammo. So I might not be able to read them all live right now, but if anyone would be interested in that, someone saying they remember getting ammo cans for $2 in the 90s. Absolutely. Those days are gone, but they could still go up and they're just awesome. I love ammo cans. So do you guys want me to do a video talking about how I store my ammo? And when I do that, of course, I could kind of show you guys the ammo can and just let me know down in the comments. If enough of you guys are interested, I'll definitely do a video on that because it's kind of been on my mind, right? Magazines, guys. Now, here's the other thing. And we've never seen this before, but we shouldn't be surprised because I've never seen most of the stuff that's going on right now. Now, I read about a lot of it in 1984, and that was supposed to be a stark warning that we were supposed to heed to make sure that never, ever happened. That was warning us of what could happen and the scary parts of communism. Well, now it seems like they're using that is an instruction manual. And that's the textbook of the elite, of the oligarchs, of the United States representatives in the Senate. And I hate to say it, both parties seem to be complicit with a lot of it. Although generally, Democrats are probably worse. A lot of the Republicans are going along to get along too. So gun control that we remember in the past, 94 to 04, it sucked. It was terrible. You know, I bought my first gun in 94, an SKS, Chinese one. I still have it today. They were going for about $100 then. I spent $130 for my first one, but it was a bargain because the guy literally just needed the money. He was a friend of a friend that I had mutually hung out with over the years. And he said, look, man, I just went to Cabela's like a month ago and I bought this brand new Monte Carlo hunting stock. He says, it still comes with the original wood, you know, from China, still Cosmoline on it. But he's like, dude, I can show you the receipt. I just spent $130 for the stock. Do you old school guys remember that? The SKS was $100, but for a really nice Monte Carlo hunting stock, that cost more than the gun. So he's like, dude, will you just give me $130 for it? And you can have like the ammo, and there were some bandoliers and the gun itself, the original wood furniture, still soaked in the grease, and then this $130 stock that he still had a receipt for. So that's the story. I bought a stock for $130 and got a free SKS, 100 rounds in ammo, and a bandolier, right? Wasn't even months later. That was early 94. And then the Bill Clinton assault weapons ban went through for 10 years. And I didn't have a lot of money to buy a lot of guns back then, but I sat there and I'd be like, I want to buy this. I want to buy that. And the prices were doubling. They were tripling. And it was like all I could do to save up $100 for my first SKS. And I wanted an AK, but they had already doubled in price and people were already calling them pre-bans, right? Now that sucked. It was terrible. But it could get a lot worse this time because not only are magazines semi-disposable parts, but most of your go-to guns, if crap were to hit the fan. Uh-oh, here's a really special viewer. I'm so happy to see you, Michelle. How are you doing? I'm sorry, guys. I don't like to interrupt, but I'm so happy to see you here. I hope you're doing okay. She's had some really, really tragic things happen in her life, and she's one of my friends. So I know a lot of you have wished Michelle prayers for her in the past, and seriously, I'm so happy to see you. I hope you're okay. Nice to see you, Michelle. Not only are magazines wear and tear, but all of your guns, your go-to guns that you're like, I will use this for life and liberty to protect my family with. There's also disposable wear and tear parts in there. And here's where these guys have literally, this is how they say it. They learned from the 94 through 04 assault weapons ban. And what they tell us they learned is that wasn't severe enough. They're literally proposing to ban all online sales of gun parts. Now that sounds terrible in and of itself, right? Because a lot of you are like, I'm an hour from the nearest gun shop. And the local gun shop that we do need to support, always support your local gun shop. Supermatch G&A in Southeast Michigan, best local gun shop ever. One of my best friends owns it. His name's Matt. Awesome. Matt has a lot of little parts, but he doesn't have parts for every gun. He couldn't. How could you? You know, a small gun shop doesn't have like a Walmart or Amazon warehouse at their disposal. Here's the crazy part. Most of your local gun shops are ordering their parts online. So if parts are banned for sale online, your local gun shop may not be able to get them. So let's think about your AR-15. What parts you might want to look at for that. 1 second, though. Thanks for the super chat, Reptile, guys. I appreciate it, man. He said, I've had to buy a few of mine from Harbor Freight. They're $20 a pop, and they're the smaller ammo cans, or mid-size. You can only get 600 in the boxes of 9. All right. Harbor Freight sells them. I'm going to do a video soon about that. I know of a few places to get them. I just don't want to spout off right now. Let me check. There used to be a place, I'll tell you guys this real quick. It's called Ammo Can Man. Ammo Can Man. Google it. I think that's just what it's called, ammocanman.com. They would sell bundles. You can buy a dozen and free shipping and save, and check it out. Hopefully that helps you guys. But I'll do a video on it. Now think about your AR-15. What if you have a mag catch that goes bad or wears out? No big deal, $2. Yeah, online. Think about the little springs that are in your AR. Think about your trigger components. Think about your trigger itself. Do they break normally? No, but if you knew it was the last one you could get the rest of your life, you might just want to buy a whole new trigger group, especially if you own 5 ARs. They sell spring kits. There's also something that's indispensable if you're even thinking about buying an AR. Like, I don't normally tell you guys what to do. I say think for yourself. This is the instance where I'm going to literally tell you guys you have to do this. You have to buy an oops kit, it's called. It's called an oops kit. No matter what, you're going to lose one little spring, one little detent when you're putting your AR together. Or if something were to fail and you need to repair it, get yourself an oops kit. I don't know what stuff costs with this flu going on, but they were like $6-7 last time I bought one. So look at that. It's just a little baggie. It's got little springs and whatnot. All right. Barrels. Think about it. ARs are Legos, right? You can, within reason, usually build the whole thing from start to finish yourself. You might want to get an extra barrel. Now, I'm not telling you guys to spend your life savings. I'm not telling you go back and buy a Polytech Legend pre-ban AK that's $5,000. No, I'm just throwing stuff out there that might be $7 now, might be $50 now, but it could become worth 2, 3, 4, 5 times that. I do not see demand going down anytime soon. Okay. Now, don't rip yourselves off. Don't get scalped. But I noticed barrels are still available for a reasonable price, right? Maybe some of you are looking around thinking, okay, there's a few calibers that are basically completely in common with the other with the AR. Let's just say 5.56, 2.23, and 300 blackout. Maybe you have a 300 blackout, and you're like, I just can't get ammo no matter what. I don't think I'll ever be able to find it again. And it's pretty tough. It's pretty tough to get that ammo. Maybe buy a 5.56 barrel. Or vice versa. If you already have 5.56, maybe get a 300 barrel. You just don't know. Somebody says, forget buying parts. Buy a lathe and a mill. Absolutely. Absolutely. If you know how to do it, absolutely. That's like totally awesome. I'm going to be bartering with you guys because I don't know how to do that stuff. I don't. Somebody's talking about headspace gauges. Yes, gauges if you're wanting to literally build. Yes, absolutely. But think about it. Just little stuff like that. Make yourself a little list. Are you an AK guy? AK is a very robust firearm, and it's much harder to change the barrel out on an AK than it is an AR, of course. Same thing, though. I'm going to get myself, extra hammer spring, just stuff like that. Probably keep an extra hammer laying around. Magazines. Like I said, I just bought 10 AK magazines and an ammo can. I don't know if you guys are familiar, but those AC Unity mags are actually pretty cool, by the way. You should check them out. Like I said, I bought them from a place called RTG. I have no affiliation, nothing like that, no coupon code for you, but they seem pretty nice. They've got the reinforced locking lugs, okay? Reinforced bolt hole open. If you get the modern, these are made in Bosnia, right? So obviously former Yugoslavia. And if you're familiar with Yugo AKs, past their very early experimental ones, like that's an experimental Yugo M64. That takes a special mag. Anything beyond that, they were always famous for their bolt hole open. You can get them that way. You can get the AKs with the Soviet-style followers. They also make they make so many things. Like I'm waiting for my order to come in because it's been a couple weeks since I made an order. VZ58 mags. They've got the Glock mags, the Glock 19, 15-round flush fit. They've got the Glock 19 with the +2 base plates. Just all kinds of stuff. Beretta 92 mags. And they're actually very affordable. And for being a polymer mag, the polymer seems just as durable as anything that I've used so far. So definitely look at mags. Look at parts. Now let's look at the AR more specifically. Right now, according to the ATF and the GCA and all of the different, look, it gets really convoluted. I'm just going to very loosely say, according to the law enforcement, they consider the lower to be the receiver, the serialized part. Now, we've had news for a while now, and we've actually had a couple criminal defendants get off because, really, that's not the lower receiver. You actually have to combine the upper and lower together before you would get a receiver. I'm not a betting man, and I'm not an attorney. But if I were to be a betting man, I would bet you money right now In the next year at the least. Within this next year, if not the year after. It's coming soon, though. I'll just say this. We don't know when. I can guarantee you, like I would literally bet money on it right now. AR uppers are going to be probably a serialized part soon. I'm just using my common sense. I've been studying this game for so long. I have no insiders telling me this. Don't quote me. I'm not a lawyer. Okay, of course. I can almost guarantee you that the days of just buying uppers and playing Legos with them could be gone soon. Now, if buying a new barreled upper or a parts kit, yeah, I know it used to be like $250 before the flugaloo set in. Now it's $500. I get that. Maybe you don't have $500. I don't right now. This is my slow time of year. I'm plowing snow if it snows at all. But you can still get a stripped upper for an AR for pretty cheap. And then you have it. Whatever the laws end up changing into at that time, you can make that assessment. So that's something else not to forget about with your AR. Those upper receivers. I know I have to always qualify it with this right before the flu because now it's just insane. You can find a deal. Like you might be able to right now go buy an Anderson upper for $45. You might. But it might sell out in 5 minutes. And you might have to spend $80. So you guys have been doing this. You know how frustrating it is to try to find decent prices right now. But think about the upper receiver. I know for a fact now that you literally already have at least one judge, possibly more, that have literally struck down and found in favor of the defendant. This was a prohibited person, right? And they said, you can't prosecute him on having a firearm. That's not a firearm. Yes, it is. It's a receiver. No, it's not. The law clearly states a receiver must contain these components the AI receiver does not contain. The ATF doesn't like to get defeated because absolute power corrupts absolutely. And these people have had so much power for so long. If I were to opine and I were to be a betting man, they're not just going to say, oh, well, ARs aren't guns anymore. Neither is the receiver, right? We could hope, but I doubt it. I think what they're going to do is they're going to say, nope, the upper becomes part of the receiver. They both get married together. They both have to have the same serial number. And very rarely am I this strong in my opinion, but I'll literally put money on that. So definitely think about that. What's up, Amanda Wilson? How you doing? What's up, Jeremy? Lovely husband and wife in the chat here. I think I saw out of the corner of my eye John Crump. And if he is in here, there he is. What's happening, John Crump? How you doing, man? Now, he may know way more about this AR serial than I do, and maybe I certainly don't expect him to answer your questions, but if John Crump says something, he usually knows what he's talking about. So maybe he's already answered a lot of this for you guys. What's happening, Matt Morrison? How you doing, man? VA Wolf, what's up? Red, how you doing? Yes, Red's saying stripped uppers and lowers can still be had. I've noticed that. I think, that's something that doesn't break the bank. MJA says we're all building pistols and the like. Heck yeah, man. I hope you guys are all building as much as you possibly can. Heck yeah. I mean, a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. Not optional, not necessary to the security of a free state. That's the important part. And of course, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. We're supposed to be more powerful than the army. We're supposed to be regulated, organized, well-armed. That's what the founding fathers said, and they knew what they were talking about too. I hope you guys are buying as much guns as you possibly can right now. Feed your family. I get it. I'll admit. I've bought a lot in the past. I'm okay here and there over the years. I think I have enough. How many's enough? One more than what you currently have. So if you have one, well, then you need one more. But then when you buy two, you still need one more. And if you had 399, you still want the 400th. Feed your family first. Don't get the lights shut off. But, man, other than that, if your lights are on and your family's fed, I'd look for some magazines. These parts, like I'm saying, upper receivers, lower receivers. You can build 8Ks too. Parts kits, I know they've gone through the roof. I get it. But parts kits, you can buy jigs, you can buy dies, you can do all this stuff. Can't go too far with it on here. Susan Wiki's watching. You know what I mean? Speaking of which, I shouted her out earlier. My lovely co-host, her and I have had a lot of fun. This is what we did. Go to my Patriot EDU channel, by the way. So like so many of you guys, you're sitting there talking to your friends and you're like, what am I going to do? This sucks. And sometimes there's just a friend that you have that you can just talk to, right? And they get it, and you can kind of just get through it together. And she's been that friend for me, and I'm very grateful. And both of us have talked about this. We consider so many of you to be our good friends. So go over to my Patriot EDU channel. You're going to see us having fun, roasting some of these idiots in Congress. You'll see us just talking about life over there. And we do like to read you guys' comments and stuff. So definitely join her and I over at Patriot EDU. We put up a few videos in the last week that I hope you liked, and I've got some more here that I'm going to be releasing. Maybe I'll give them one. I'll have to ask Tap Rack and Roll. Maybe we'll give them another one this weekend and then a couple more next week. So definitely go over there. Look who's in the chat, Tap Rack and Roll. So happy to see her. Hi, Michelle. I hurt so bad when some of my viewers, my friends, you guys, when someone's going through something hard in their life, and that's why I'm smiling so much. A lot of us have been praying for you, Michelle. We hope it's working. We hope it's helping. John Crump with the super chat. Thank you, sir. Wayne's leaked email is on my personal site. Is it really? Nice. Do any of my moderators have a minute? If one of my moderators have a minute and can throw John Crump's site on here or email, YouTube filters it out. It's just the way it works. Everybody can't just post a email, or a website. John Crump's website. If one of you guys can put that in there, he's my friend, and I think he has a lot of good information. Investigative journalist. We don't have many of those right now. Awesome. Good to hear, Michelle. Jameson Hurley with the super chat. Well, thank you for the donation. I don't know if Susan cut you off or if you were just being nice, but thank you. I appreciate it, man. Oh, yeah, we're all happy to see Michelle in here. I don't want to give out her personal info, but I think most of you guys already know what happened and whatever. I don't mean like whatever, but I mean whatever. We'll get through it, There's a lot of crap going on. We'll all be okay. All right. So are you guys actually thinking about this like me? I don't know. That's what I'm recommending. If you already have an AR, you already have an AK, or it could be an FAL or a whatever it is, G3, and you already have one or you already have two, and they're good, they're solid guns. Instead of buying that third gun or the 37th gun, I'd go through, just write yourself a little itemized list. Because you never want to go buy one spring. I've had to do it before. I wish I could touch guns right now. I can't. Susan Wiki, I'm not touching guns. Over there is a PTR 91. And I bought one of those SEF pinned and clipped lowers for it, right? To get away from the Navy polymer lower. And I had the grip. I had everything. I needed one screw. I'm like, I only need one screw. RTG had the screw. It was $3. Is it a ripoff? I guess. No, whatever. It's worth it. You got to spend the $3, right, to finish the build. So I bought the one screw and had to pay like $6 shipping for one screw. So make yourself a list. Add that $7 oops kit for your AR, the springs. You have to have one, literally. Not optional. Add your little screw you need. Add your buffer spring. Upper receiver. It's still not a firearm right now. I think that's going to change. But right now, uppers get shipped straight to your house. Not an FFL item, not serialized. Because I at least like to have $20-$30 worth of stuff in the cart before I'm going to spend $7 shipping. But I get my list going. Because there's many people. That is not his personal site, Linda, Ammo Land. That's where you'll find him. Just tell Linda John Crump the name of the site, and then she'll go put the link in there for you. Thank you, though. You guys know what I'm talking about. Get your little list, check it twice. And you know what? There's a lot of new gun owners out there, and that's okay. Come into my comments right now. Come into the chat. There's literally, look at all these Marines that are in here. Look at all these people from the Army, Air Force, National Guard, Coast Guard. There's a guy named Old Coasty that's usually look. We've got all of the branches. I think we've even got some Space Force in here. All the branches of the armed services are in this chat constantly. Army. I just saw someone from the Army. Look, ask these guys. Say, I'm new. I promise you this. Like, literally, I promise you. If there's anyone new watching this, say, I have an AR. I'm so new. Will somebody please just list? Now, you guys can't put links in here to websites that sell it, but if there's anyone new to the AR, just ask. Say, what parts are most likely to fail in the battlefield or in civilian use? These guys will help you. AK. I see Rockford Ordnance is in here. Cave Dave, Matt Morrison. There's some big-time AK guys in here. Look at this. Retired Army. Matthew says he's a Ranger. Look, these guys will help you. So literally just ask them. Marines, I told you. They'll tell you guys what you need to get. And that's what we need to do because you don't know if in a couple weeks from now. Here's what Kamala Harris promised. She said, I will get Congress to act on this gun control package. And if they don't, we'll do it by executive action. It's on their website. She campaigned on it. Said in the first 100 days, if Mitch McConnell in the Senate or any of them try to block it. Now, if you guys are counting on Mitch McConnell to ride in on a white horse, you're nuts. If you think Mitch McConnell is going to save you at all, look, if you think anybody in Washington, D.C. is going to save you, you know what I'm saying, right? They're not gonna. Now, can we defeat gun control? Sure. But don't bet on Mitch McConnell pulling a rabbit out of his hat. I'd bet more on other things than that. You can find yourself literally going to find that little spring you could once get, that little trigger, magazines, and find that they're just not there. Some of you are blessed enough to have a lathe, and that's fine. I could go buy a lathe right now, but I wouldn't know how to use it. And unfortunately, I own 2 very small businesses and have to work so many hours. I don't even think I'd have time to learn how to use it. So I would definitely think about all that. These are nice. This is for a Glock 19. Not very long ago, these could be had for $45. They might be $80, $90 right now. It's up for you to decide. I can see these requiring a serial number soon. Heck, I can see this particular one getting banned. It has threads on the barrel, right? Is it all unconstitutional? Heck yeah, it is. Could the Harris-Biden administration, could Harris type it up and hold Biden's hand? Where am I? Where am I? Who am I? What's going on? Sir, sign here. Maybe. Could it be totally unconstitutional? Well, of course it would be unconstitutional. We don't even need to ask that. But then who's going to have to chime in the courts? All I know is I think it was 43 out of 50 states petitioned the Supreme Court to hear about another matter that we can't talk about on YouTube anymore. And they said no. Didn't have enough compelling interest. It didn't affect enough of the country, they said. Do you want to be the one that's literally scavenging around for some spare parts for your go-to rifle when your wife and kids are asleep, or vice versa, your husband and kids? There's a lot of gun girls out there, and I respect all of you too. I don't think so. So get your small parts, get your ammo cans, get your magazines. That's the thing I would focus on right now. If you're into the AR, if you think you're going to need to keep on building, build as many as you can is what I recommend. I want to see like 100 million guns get built this year. Are you kidding me? I might look into the upper receiver. It's still pretty cheap and easy to get right now. I think slot's going to change with that. You'll have to decide what you want to do if the law changes. But I get it first. I think, it's kind of better to have one bird in the hand than 2 in the bush, right? Reptile guys with the super chat. Thanks a lot, man. Wasser 10, which one should I get? Which is better, bolt hold open or not? From RTG with can. Was buying it now. Okay, this is just a total personal preference. Very, very rarely, like literally this Yugo M64 that sits behind me. This is kind of like an experimental, not many in the country. So that's kind of a rabbit hole gun. That has a true bolt hold open. Where it holds it open, you pull the mag out and it stays locked to the rear. 99.999% of AKs do not do that. Some guys love the bolt hold open. And if you do, it's fine. I do not like bolt hold open mags on my AKs. Like, they're okay. Don't get me wrong. I have some original Yugo Milsurp steel mags. They're great mags, very robust, heavy duty. I don't like bolt hold open on my AK. It's just, I'm not used to that manual of arms, okay? I've noticed a lot of guys that are primarily AR guys kind of gravitate towards the bolt hole open follower. But keep in mind, even if you do that, it's not going to be exactly the same. Because as soon as you rock that mag out of there, the bolt and carrier is going to fly forward on you. Okay? Now, in some cases, we have selectors. You could call it the safety. It's technically called the selector that has a notch cut in it where the follower will hold it open. You can pull your selector up. The little groove will hold it. I'm used to my AK. Boom, 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 boom. All right. It's in battery. I'm empty. Charge it. Maybe flip it over and, you know, it's hard to do on camera with no gun in my hand. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's 6 1 half dozen of the other, dude. Ask the people in the crowd here. Half the people are going to tell you they love bolt hold open followers on their AK. Me, I bought the newer SKU that they offer, the Soviet style follower, which does not have bolt hold open because I grew up on the SKS and then the AK. I'm always going to run that bolt carrier every single time, no matter what. That's my preference. Speaking of good friends, how you doing, Ray? Nice to see you too. Heck yeah, she is. Pillbox Bunker. Ray's in the house, he says. I love everybody. I love all you guys almost equally. Almost. Well, yeah, I mean, I like the Michigan people just a little more. You guys understand that, right? How many Michigan people are here tonight? Now, here's the thing. Texas. That's my least favorite. No, it's not. I just give the Texas guys a hard time because when haven't you met someone from Texas? Now, it's cool. They're awesome, but they're just a little bit too cocky, so sometimes you got to kind of smack them down a little bit. So, favorite state is Michigan. Least favorite is Texas. But I do love the Texas people, too. Uh-oh. These Texas guys, they're going to come in here. Don't mess with Texas. Sovereign Mind, 1969. 69.96. Well, thank you for such a generous super chat. I really appreciate it. Welcome to the new world. Yeah, that says so little, but it says so much, doesn't it? Do I want the new world? Heck no, I don't want the new world. 1984 was supposed to be a stark warning. Like, this is a warning of what can happen, and you need to fight it with every breath in your body, tooth and nail to stop it. But now it seems that it's more like the playbook or the instruction manual. Yeah, welcome. But I'll tell you what, though. I'd rather have my AK cocked locked, ready to rock, my AR, whatever it is for you. FAL, too. Shout out to all the FAL guys out there. If you're into the FN FAL, you know what I'm talking about. Hey, I want it ready to go. Brave new world, right? Hey. Rather go down fighting as hard as I can than just to be like, oh, well, whatever. Gulag? All right, sounds good. How do I get tickets to that train? No, I don't think so. I'm not going to go on a train, so I think a lot of you guys feel the same way, don't you? So make sure you have all those parts ready to go. Right? Ray still has a copy of 1984. I hope you read that. You know what's crazy, Ray? When I gave you that book, I was talking about this then, but that was before this flu kicked in. That book has become 10 times more true today than when I gave you that book a year ago. It's crazy. Like, this is a real life example. Ray's my friend, you know, she lives down the street from where I'm at right now. And I gave her that book and I said, you know, I recommend reading this because we need to make sure this never happens. And then just in the last 9 months, 10 months, I'm not going to say it's all happened yet, guys. I'm not being too doom and gloom, but gosh, it's gotten so much closer to that. That's why we need to stay positive, focused, have a lot of energy, and get ready. Now, there's all the gun-related stuff too, right, that we've just talked about. And there's probably a lot more. And if I think of something else, I'll mention it to you. But just don't forget it. Like, there's the obvious, like the gun itself, the magazines, the ammo cans, all the small parts. They want to ban the sale of all of it. I bet you $1 they either do or try to serialize pretty much all of it. Also, other just little practical things. I know it's hard. You got to buy ammo too, right? If you can find ammo right now, if you can even find it, and you don't have any, you have to buy some. You have to have some. Now, if you've already got 10,000 rounds and you think you're fine and you're not so sure, you want to spend $35 for a box of brass Full Metal Jacket 9. Yeah, maybe hold off a little bit. That's a bit high. But maybe not, because it could actually go up from there. I mean, it's possible. All right. Steel case. I'll give you guys an example. This is Wolf. Now, a lot of you guys are going to totally hate steel case, and if you do, I already get all the reasons why you hate it. It doesn't matter to me. I like steel case in most and many of my pistols. I've shot a lot of it. I'm totally fine with it. I know all the pluses and minuses. With that said, I'm comfortable shooting it most of the time. Pre-Flugaloo, the Kung Flu, $6.39 a box. Seriously, like pretty much all over the internet. A place called Classic. I think you guys know the rest of it. It's called Classic. Put this out at $500 a case. That's $25 a box. 20 boxes for $500, plus tax, plus shipping. They put it out twice in the past 2 days. One time I think it lasted for a couple hours. The other time it lasted for minutes. So, there's two ways to look at this. If you stacked it deep, bought it cheap and stacked it deep, of course, if you bought enough of this that you're sure it's going to last you a long, long time, of course, $25 is a ripoff. If you're putting it into perspective. But is it really? I don't know. We live in, supply side economics. I'm not an economist, but vaguely, you guys know what I mean. It's called supply and demand. Is this worth $25 a box? Apparently, right now, January 15th, 2021, it is, because they put it up for $25 a box and it's gone in minutes, or if you're extremely lucky, hours. What is something worth? I guess it's worth what you're willing to pay for it. Now, if you have no ammo, there's none in the house. You bought your first gun. That was hard enough. You have to rip yourself off and buy a couple boxes. You have no choice, right? That's obvious. This is another ammo. And you guys can look this up. Look at my stream from about a year ago, a little over a year ago. It's all on there. I'm not rubbing it in. I'm just letting you guys know I'm not new to the game, and I'm not rubbing it in. I'm totally there with you guys. In fact, I bought ammo at current rip-off prices just to do reviews so I could experience the journey with you all. And because as much ammo as I bought, me having a channel and being an avid shooter, I've shot most of it. So whatever. This is called STV Scorpio. People ask me about this ammo often. I found it to be nice, clean ammo. It's 124 grain. This is standard pressure. Don't confuse it for NATO ammo. NATO ammo is usually 124 grains, but NATO ammo equals plus P. This is a standard pressure 124 grain. This, a lot of times, now if you get lucky and your local gun shop has this at only 28, I know. 2021, people. Gotta hate it, gotta love it, whatever. But this, is usually around 35 to 40 a box online. This is modern, new manufactured ammo coming out of the Czech Republic. I've had good luck with it. Do I recommend? Yeah. What's it worth? I don't know. What are you willing to pay for it? This was $8 a box a year ago, to make a long story short. It was $8 a box. I saw it going up sometime in, I want to say May. I went to my local gun shop, Supermatch G&A. He had a whole pallet of it. Said, I've got some more range videos I want to do for the people. And I still have some of this stuff set aside for some more reviews, specifically on this ammo and some pistols that you guys have been very patient. So I appreciate your patience. But he had it. It started to go up at that price. He had it for $12 at that time, which was a great deal. And I bought another case at $12 a box. If you have none, you need to get yourself some. There's nothing else I can say. I'm not fear-mongering. I hate the fear-mongers just as much as you guys do. Obviously, right? Shame on you. If your kid is hungry and you can't buy diapers for your baby and you went from 9,000 rounds up to 10,000 rounds, well, yeah, you're obviously nuts. So when I say you have to buy it, just keep it into perspective, right? I've read so many times, and it makes me sad, and it really sucks. People say they bought a certain gun, the Taurus G2C, some of them will say. I bought the G2C, but I've had it for 6 months, and I've not been able to find one round of ammo. So I just sold the gun for next to nothing. I don't know. Hopefully they're joking. It doesn't seem like they are, though. Some people are literally saying they can't find any at all. I think you can find. It just might not be the price you want. But if you have none, what's your family's life worth? What I wanted to, I don't carry FMJ for concealed carry. I don't, but if that's all I can find, let's see here. Do I take the empty? We'll just say Taurus G2C, real popular gun that I love, by the way. Would I rather throw the G2C or would I rather have 12 plus 1 of FMJ? Duh. Now, any ammo you buy, this is something for any new gun owners out there. You have to do this. You just have to. If you're going to rely on that for life and liberty, protection of yourself, your family, country, whatever, you have to test the ammo with the specific gun and the specific magazine or magazines you're going to carry. You just have to. Because once in a while, you'll have a pistol that is the most reliable gun ever on 1, 2, 3, 4, 9 different types of ammo. But if you try enough ammo, you'll find often there's that one type that your gun just stumbles on for whatever reason. It can literally be like this, like your buddies, your best friend's G2C might love this STV Scorpio 124 grain. It loves it. It's completely perfect, right? But then it jams in yours. But like every other type, Federal, Winchester, all these might run perfect in yours. It's hard to explain, but if you've been around guns enough, you guys know this just it happens. It just does. I love Federal HST, okay? There's a couple guns out there that just don't like to feed it for whatever reason, Heck, I have my Stoeger STR9. Great pistol, by the way. Great pistol. Check this out. I just got something in from Forge Tech Holsters, okay? STR9 Compact. Now, you guys haven't even seen the STR9 Compact review yet, so I just gave you 2 previews for upcoming videos. That Stoeger, that's a NATO gun. That's made for military police type use, right? Loves NATO ammo all day long. It actually completely loves Wolf. Believe it or not, it loves this Wolf. I had a short stroke several times on this Federal 9mm, and this is the stuff that Walmart used to sell back when they sold ammo that works in 90% of my guns. It loves this Winchester NATO. It loves Wolf, and that right there is the perfect example of why you need to test the type of ammo you're going to carry in your exact gun and in your mag. If you own 20 mags and you're only going to carry 2, test it out of those 2 mags, right? You could buy 20 mags and have 1 out of 20 that's bad. It happens. I've had brand new mags out of the box, factory new, that are just bad. You guys have had it happen, haven't you? America the Free with the super chat. Thanks so much, man. He says, have faith, big brother. God is on our side. Absolutely. Absolutely. And all of us, that's when I say these are our God-given rights. And then I'll quickly say your creator, these are natural rights. Because as big of a firm believer as I am in the second, look, the second's still my favorite because I believe the second is there for not if, but when they try to take all the rest. But I love the First Amendment, right? And we have freedom of religion in this country. Well, I have the Christian faith. And I believe Jesus is going to save me and not Trump and not any of them. You don't need to believe in God. You don't need to be a Christian. In fact, you don't have to believe in any religion at all. The only thing is, unless you believe Mitch McConnell or Donald Trump or Nancy Pelosi, right? Or even the great George Washington, unless you believe they created you. But certainly nobody believes that. I don't care if you're an atheist, an agnostic. It doesn't matter what you are. Nobody literally thinks that anyone in the government created you, right? These are natural rights. These rights were given to you by something that existed that predated any government. And that's what that means. The Second Amendment did not give us our rights. We don't have Second Amendment rights. We don't. If you read the Second Amendment, it does not say the United States government gives us the right to keep and bear arms. No. They acknowledge that this right pre-existed this country, pre-existed the great Alexander Hamilton, Madison, Franklin. No, they said the right to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, meaning we already had it. And it says right in the Declaration, we are endowed by our Creator certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And if you have life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, what more would you possibly need? I mean, do you know how beautiful that is? Everything falls in there. Now, it doesn't say the government's going to make you happy. It doesn't even say your Creator's going to be happy. But at least you have the ability to wake up that day and decide to do what you need to do to be happy. So, Second Amendment does not grant us anything. And the First Amendment doesn't grant us anything, but the overwhelming thing is this. God-given right, laws of nature, natural rights, your Creator, whatever you believe created you, and whoever you believe you'll go to in the afterlife, that's who gave you your rights, and that's the only thing, person, entity, whatever you believe it is, that can truly take them away. But I'll tell you what, the government is hell-bent right now, it seems, to try to prohibit our free exercise thereof. And it's immoral. It's evil, but this is a battle of good versus evil. And we do need to have faith. And for many of you, it's going to be God is on your side. For many of you, you're just looking forward to the day Jesus comes back. For other people, because you don't need to believe in Jesus to be an American. It's just having your friends, your family, knowing that you're going to have some bad dudes that are going to line up with you and fight someday. Whatever it is, people need to have faith that we will have better days. And that's why I'm urging you guys to make sure you're just going through your little checklist and having what you need. Because I just hate to see some really good person, because all you guys are such good people that's kind of down and out and can't get what they need. You know what I mean? We're going to have to take care of ourselves and each other. But I'll tell you what, they're going to try to make it a lot more difficult. David with the super chat. Thanks, man. David Sepulveda. Did I get close, man? Hopefully I got close. Thank you. He says, do you know why my shield won't lock back when empty? And mag without me locking it with a slide release? Do I need to take it to the gunsmith? Okay, so number one thing I would always check with that is swap out a different mag. I know it comes with a couple. If your friend has a mag, try theirs. Now also make sure with the shield. I'll tell you what. If it's a Smith & Wesson M&P Shield 9, that's one of the most difficult pistols to rack back. You may be pulling it back far enough to strip around, but you may not be pulling it back quite hard enough. Now, if you're firing shots and it still doesn't do that. So there's a couple examples here. Maybe your ammo is just a little underpowered. If you have any plus P, NATO plus P, try that. If plus P or NATO doesn't lock that slide back, we might have some issues. Sorry I couldn't answer your question. There's a few scenarios. Ammo related, possibly if you're shooting it. Always check the mag first. Mags are semi-disposable parts, which goes right back. Thanks for the segue, David. Why I recommended some of these cheap mags while the getting's good. Hey, stuff just happens with mags. It just does. You know, can you keep them loaded forever? Yeah. But sometimes they still fail too. It's just kind of like it is what it is with mags. Definitely check your mag out, man, for sure. And Susan just skipped the chat on me again. I do not want to miss this because someone else was nice enough to. Ray's still here. She said hit the like button. Thank you, Ray. Hey, you got to hit the like button only because Ray said so, all right? So just do it. Justin Booth with the super chat. Thank you. He says, I just saw a 2020 Colt Python on guns. Okay, I can't say that. For $1,800. However, the gun was used as a demo gun at a few gun shows. Should I purchase it or try to negotiate the price? All right, now that's a touchy subject. I'm assuming you're a revolver guy and you want a real nice revolver. You wouldn't even be talking about this. Now, if it's the only 1,800 you have, I'd buy more ammo and more mags. Let's assume that Justin already has what he needs. Can I do the phone a friend? Can you guys help Justin out? I'll be honest with you, Justin. I have some revolvers. I've showed some recently. I plan on showing more soon. I'm not a revolver aficionado, man. Milsurps, a lot of other stuff. Yeah. I don't know what they're going for right now in this flugaloo climate. But I have like 700 awesome people. So, hey, come on, guys, bail me out. Don't make me look like an idiot. Just read the chat, Justin. These guys will help me out with that, okay? I agreed. He says, I like Jesus. He's a cool dude. I agree with you, man. Blue Girl in NC. What's happening? How you doing? She's another good one. I like her. I like Harry Grimley, too. What's happening, man? We're going to talk about the NRA in just a second. I did put that in the title. Is that why you guys were here? Were you guys here for the NRA? Or were you here for talking about what to buy? Or probably the best reason to be here is just to hang out in the chat because these people are all pretty cool. Oh, absolutely, Joe D. That's what I'm saying, man. I like all of them. Like, I do. 1st through 10th, like, really, I just want my life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. If there weren't people always trying to take it away from us, we wouldn't need a Second Amendment. In fact, if you remember in the Federalist Papers, right? They said if men were angels, we'd need no government at all, but men are not angels. So that's why they put the second there, because they knew, yeah, we have that right, but they needed to prohibit. That was an absolute prohibition. It's called a negative right. The right exists, but Congress is prohibited, shall not be infringed. And they knew we'd need it, because originally when they wrote the Constitution, they didn't put that in there, did they? As of 1789, it wasn't quite written down yet. And they said, well, why would we write that down? It's just assumed. I mean, look at how this country was formed. Duh. We obviously used a well-regulated militia to fight off the bloody Brits, right? Shout out to the British people, great British people that hang out too in here. I'm serious. There's some really patriotic people in Europe right now that totally have our back. And they're like, you guys can't fall to this, because if you do, you're the world's last hope. But I digress. They said no. They said we don't need that. Look back in the historical writings. It's true. They said we don't need a Second Amendment. That's what half of them said. They said, no. We need it. And they went back to that basic principle, but men are not angels. We can't just trust that the government's not going to try to get too power hungry, because even they knew back in the late 1700s and in 1791 when they wrote the Declaration, or not the Declaration, but the Bill of Rights, they even knew then that absolute power corrupts absolutely. And that it would start off by them taking an inch, and that inch would go to miles. And they kind of knew that they were coming for our guns right when we had just fought off the British after the British coming for our guns. And it is kind of ironic, because what I said is totally circular, but that seems how life goes a lot of times, doesn't it? Stuff kind of goes in a full circle. And yeah, to go back to what Joe said, I believe it's there to protect all the rest. You know, they say the pen's mightier than the sword, and it may be. But then you can go in a full circle, though, where you can walk up with a sword and take the person's pen. Think about it. All this stuff goes in a big circle in kind of a profound way, really. Hopefully I'm helping you guys out here. Is somebody helping him out with that Colt Python? I know there's some revolver guys in here. Oh, okay. Paul, what's happening, Paul? How you doing, man? See, I told you there's some American Brit. Now, there's actually some people that still, he's an American, but there's some like British that live over there, and they're like, heck, man, like, you guys literally need to keep it together. You can't let yourselves become a communist country. And these are from other countries that have gone pretty far socialist, and a lot of the people are there. They want to fight, but someone was literally telling me this. They were another Brit. They were from England, I believe, somewhere over in the United Kingdom area. And they said, look, over here, it would literally take like short of a world war before we could fight for our rights back, because we have no guns. We've already been disarmed. They've already got us down to so little that we couldn't even like come out of our houses and fight. So you guys need to keep fighting, because this particular person said they have dreams and hopes someday that they can apply for citizenship, move here. They're saying, I'll be the most patriotic American there's ever been. You guys will want me on your side. And I believe it. There are some people like that. They come into our country, and they're more patriotic than most people that have lived here for 10 generations, right? And that's what's made this country great, by the way. People with the fighting spirit, people that are like, hey, get off your butts. You guys have been taking this for granted way too long. And I'm getting a lot of encouragement from foreigners, and they're saying, but you guys can't give it up, because if you do, where will we go? Now, that sounds kind of doom and gloom, but it's actually not. I mean it like in a positive way. Like, that's pretty cool, isn't it? Think about it. Any of you guys play high school sports? You get up there. It's usually in high school, not the 9th inning. So we'll say it's in the 7th inning, right? And the bases are loaded and you're down by 1. Like, who doesn't want to have that opportunity to hit that gapper right up the line? Drive in the 2 runs and like the dugout storms you, right? So as much as it is like doom and gloom, like, oh, we're our last hope. Oh, No, that's how the other side acts. I'm Joe Biden. This is my wife. This is my daughter. No. This is my wife, and this is my daughter. Where am I? No, to heck with that. This does not mean that since we're the world's last hope that we just sit there and fall asleep and be like, oh, we're the last hope. There's no hope. No, we're the last hope because there still is hope. There's still hope. I'd like to see him literally come. Beto O'Rourke, I'm going to come and take your AR-15, your AK-47. You know what? That's the last thing I want in a million years. But at the same time, I'd like to see him try, right? Mr. C with the super chat. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks for keeping the right for the republic. And this is a republic. It's not a democracy. The news will tell you it's a democracy. A lot of Republicans on TV, it'll tell you it's a democracy. A democracy is just mob rule. It's just literally 2 wolves, right, voting against 1 sheep on what's for dinner. And the republic is that well-armed sheep coming back to contest that vote. And that's what we need to remember. These rights don't just belong to the rich, to the famous, because they actually can buy their way out of anything. No, these rights belong to you and me. Just the regular old poor people that just work for a living and just want to be left alone. And that's all we want, is to be left alone. Well, guess what? If I'm left alone, perfect. I won't have a problem. I could care less. But if trouble comes knocking at my door, I want to be ready. And I don't want to be without that ammunition I need, those magazines, those springs, those levers, whatever it is on your particular gun. So I really, really hope you guys are getting ready and being prepared. And when I say all we have is each other, that's not actually like a constellation prize. When I say we have each other, that's actually the way this country was formed. This country was formed, right, as a republic of the people, by the people, for the people, and that the government would only govern at the consent of the governed. And when they no longer had our consent, then it was time for us to get rid of the things that bind us and to form a new government. And that's what the Declaration of Independence says. See, sometimes you have the best day ever, right? And you go to sleep and you're like, I just don't want this day to end. And we've all had days like that. Other times you just can't get to bed fast enough because you just hope that when you wake up the next day that there's going to be a new beginning and things are going to be better. And that's actually how this country was formed. They voted, and it didn't seem like their vote was being counted. Do some of you understand how that feels? I think you might. They tried diplomacy, and they tried it as hard as they could. They wrote letters. And they said, please, sir, please, King, would you please just break us off a little freedom? We'll pay a little bit of taxes, but not so much. And he said, shut up, plebe. Shut up, peasant. Don't talk to your highness like that. And they kept writing. And they were the most peaceful there's ever been, and they tried it for a long time. And every time he took their kindness as weakness. And then all of a sudden there's that famous midnight ride, Paul Revere. The British are coming. Well, he would have actually said the Redcoats are coming because he himself was a Brit at that time. By definition, the Redcoats are coming. They had already dumped tea in the harbor. They were coming to confiscate their magazines, which I don't mean like 30-round magazine. I mean like the areas where they kept their powder and their cannonballs and their muskets. Their musket balls. They were coming for their ammunition and their guns. And they knew it. And they said, nope. Nope. Now keep in mind, they had literally sat there for decades and tried to negotiate back and forth. Diplomats, the best, most well-spoken diplomats there's ever been, all tried to talk to this king. When it wasn't working, They said in Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America, when in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with one another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute a new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, and such now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having in direct object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. And they listed 27 things after that. So when people say these are laws of nature and this is the government of the people and by the people, and they're only there to govern at the consent of the governed, that's not radical, that's not weird. And don't let anybody tell you that, because this is America and that's what this country was formed on. That is what the United States of America is. And if people don't like it and they want us to be like the rest of the world, then whatever. Because I don't want to be like the rest of the world. I want to be an American. And that's what makes this country different than all the rest. We don't have a king that grants us things. So you guys need to be ready, and you guys need to keep your country, because we can never become a communist country. There's no one else that's going to save us. It was Reagan that said, Mr. Gorbachev, tear down that wall, the Berlin Wall. If communism comes here, I don't see any other country in the world coming to save us. We're always the ones that save everyone else. And there's people that have become the best Americans you'll ever meet, and a lot of them are great people right here in this chat that came from these oppressed communist or just otherwise socialist or otherwise deprived countries, and they came here to make a better life, and they've helped make America a better country. But if we become like these other countries, where are we going to go? Go over to the Middle East. Go move to China. See how that works. It's not going to work very well, is it? So this is not doom and gloom. This is actually encouragement, guys. And that's why I'm encouraged to get on here, a place where they don't even want me to be right now. Because I am encouraged. Because you guys are like awesome people. And I've met so many of you. I hang out with you guys all the time that I think it is worth it. And you're worth it. And we're all worth it. And this country's worth it. And what our grandparents and our parents and our great-great-great-grandparents did, so many of them that died in wars to save our country, they're worth it. So this is a good fight, and it's a noble fight, and we need to keep fighting it. And Sergey, thanks for the super chat. Man, I completely agree. We the people have been complacent too long. And it says right here, right? Mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable. I don't know. You guys will all decide when it's too sufferable, when it's not suffer. You know, I don't know. I'm not going to be your George Washington. I'm just a regular dude that can sit and hang out with you guys, you know, and try to maybe talk through some of this. And I hate it when Susan skips the super chats. I see one here from James K. I hope I didn't miss one, guys. If I did, that's terribly rude of me, and I'll try to find it. But If you guys stream, you know what I'm talking about. You'll be scrolling through and it skips. James K, thank you. He says, anyone can get a copy of the Ranger Handbook online, read it, then read it again. That information may just come in handy. God bless. Thank you. Yes, yes. These manuals that you can buy military manuals. They used to always be at gun shows, but do we even have gun shows anymore? I don't know. Awesome. Good recommendation, man. I appreciate that one. Definitely. Robert Albert with a super chat. Thank you. He says, what will be the first Biden firearms executive order? I don't know, but you know what my guess is going to be? It's going to be something with foreign imports. That's what Obama did to get rid of a whole classification of AKs. It was called the Kalashnikov concern, the Sagas. He just, the stroke of a pen, they were all gone. Everything from that company. Trump. Look, guys, I get it. But it's just true. There's some people coming in my comments lately saying, you worship Trump, blah, blah. Look, I don't worship anybody. I worship God, and I don't think any of these politicians are going to save us. But I digress. Trump signed an executive order almost exactly like Obama's, but it was for the MOLOT that banned all the Vepr AKs. When it comes to foreign stuff, with imports, with the Department of Commerce, they can ban imports so fast, it's not even funny. So depending where you're at right now, if you need cheaper ammo, imports. If they ban imported ammo, which they can very easily do that because they just get through the Department of Commerce and they basically say, it's not gun control. No, no, no. We're just not allowing any foreign, whatever it is, ammo, guns, parts. So if it's the imports you need, if you're like, man, I really need that Wasser 10 AK, highly recommend those, by the way. You might want to look into it. I know they're like a ton of money right now. I totally get it. That really, really sucks, but you might want to look into it, right? Well, right here, perfect example. Let's go back to 15 minutes ago. This is Wolf. This is the cheapest stuff you can buy right now, even though it's $25 a box. Russia. STV Scorpio. It might be $35, $40 a box, but it's one of the cheaper brass case. Czech Republic. They ban. I'm telling you guys, they ban. That can be done with the stroke of a pen. Am I telling you that's going to happen, man? No. Do I hope it's not going to? No. I'm not fear-mongering, but the most likely stuff that they can just instantly ban with the stroke of a pen is foreign imports. Because they say, well, it's not a Second Amendment issue. The Constitution doesn't give you, because this is how the government thinks. I just got done thoroughly explaining that these are natural rights, God-given rights. But according to the government, they believe they give us our rights. Well, look, we didn't give you the right to foreign imports. We're not banning ammunition. Well, yeah, but you just got rid of half the supply. And then, of course, they ban something. Demand goes up even 10 times more. You guys know where this is heading. I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't do something like that, because the last two presidents have, the Republican and the Democrat. And at the end of the day, they all ban something, don't they? Sergey, thanks for the super chat, man. And you guys need to listen to him here. Don't believe me. Believe him. You know why? He says, I lived in Soviet Union. Do not give an inch on 2A. He lived there. Sergey, and please don't leave me another super chat, dude. You've already been way too generous. Why are you here? Well, I don't need to ask him why he's here. He obviously wants to be an American. And I know he lives somewhere near our good friend Catherine Henry, and he's quite the American, and I've actually heard a lot about you. Because I'm sure if the Soviet Union was so much better than the United States, right, Sergey? I mean, don't leave me another super chat, man. Just tell the guys, you know? Right as I tell him, don't leave me another super chat. Thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. I'm buying a gun store. We'll sell at cost because patriots should be armed. If you do, dude, totally let me know. Do you know how much I want to go over and do a video with you? That'd be awesome, dude. I'll go over there, and Catherine, you know, whoever's over on that side. I don't even know exactly where you live. Catherine was just telling me that you guys are kind of sort of neighbors-ish, you know? I don't know. Catherine told me you're a good dude, so that's enough, right? Catherine Henry, constitutional lawyer. That's another fighter here in Michigan. I'm in Michigan, guys. Serbians. Oh my gosh. I have people from Serbia coming into my comments. They love the Yugo. And I've talked to enough Serbians. They don't take that as a put down. When we call them Yugos, they're like, no, dude, it's cool. Like, we get it. They'll come in like on one of my videos about one of the Yugo firearms, and same thing. There's some really, really patriotic, like, people from the former Yugoslavia that either still live there or are Americans now, and it's the same thing. It's the same thing. They're like, nah, dude, don't even think about it. Like, not 1 inch. Thanks, David. Okay, David Sepulveda. I got it this time. Thank you for doing these live streams. You're the man. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And I do appreciate all you guys hanging out with me. You guys are all awesome. And Royal Wolf says imports are going to be banned. It's just a question of which imports. You know, I'm not trying to be too negative, but we're not saying this in a negative way, right? We're just trying to plan. You know what I mean? Hey, look, guys, you guys are awesome with the super chats. If I skip somebody's super chat, I am literally so sorry. Type it in and hopefully I'll find out. It skipped on me earlier. I hate it when it does that. I think I skipped somebody's. Sergey, dude, seriously, thank you so much, man. You know how... Thank you. I'll just say thank you. I know you're being generous. That's awesome. I feel terrible. I'm not asking you questions, but no, look what he said. He said, because America is the best place on earth. Mic drop. Sergey, do you think he's lying? Look at his name. Of course he's not lying. He's from the Soviet Union. I think we should just literally... You guys get it, don't you? I'm just taking a quick look at the chat here. Look, it's going to be something they're going after. Jane Locke, there she is. Another good old Michigan girl. How you doing, Jane? I'm going to stay on here a few more minutes, guys. I'm just saying hi to you all. Because I do like all of you. Now, there's just a lot more of you than there is me. So if I didn't say hi, please don't even think about taking it personal. It's just like so hard to keep up. Yeah, I don't know. There's something allegedly going on in 5 days, guys. It's bad. I've gotten really, really emails, guys. They send us creators these strict emails. Like, it's pretty strict on here right now. Mark 10 with the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you. USA is the model for the world. No, when these people are sending us this from encouragement, you know, these people, I've got good people. South Africa, gosh, people in South Africa right now, it's a tough go for certain people down there. It's pretty bad. The farmers, God bless the farmers in South Africa, and same thing. They're encouraging us. Canadians, our friends to the north. Now, does that mean I like the prime minister and the troops that are the Chinese troops? No. When I say all of this, okay, like when I say Canadians, that's like just real regular people. I think you guys know that. I don't really care for any of these countries, but the people that live there, they're really, really rooting for us a lot. Richard Head from Genesee County. Nice, man. Nice. Oh, yeah. White Space Marines, what's up? Says, my good friend's an NRA instructor and range officer. He says the range he works at is jammed. People look like they're getting ready for war. I'm sure they are. Are you actually serious, Sergey? Dude, God bless you. I know you're going to try your hardest. That's awesome, dude. If you can pull it off somehow. Heck yeah, I'd love to go over there and do a video with you. That'd be so awesome. Get you some business. Of course, I think you said you're not even going to be making money. So does that mean you want more business or not? I don't know. I mean, hopefully you'll still make some money. I mean, this is America. We can make money, but man, as long as you just don't rip people off, that would be awesome, right? He can make some money, right, guys? Just don't rip us off. That's all. We get it. Stuff's gone up in price. John Williams, what's happening, man? Been riding around the north side of Houston and don't even know it. Are you riding around playing me right now? Houston, that sounds like a nice drive. Thanks for bringing me along with you, man. See, I get all over the place. Don't even have enough gas money to drive to Houston, but I don't need to because my man John Williams just hooked me up. I'm probably all over the country right now, aren't I? You guys are funny. There he is. VA Wolf. What's happening, man? Yep, stay safe, he says. He says, stand back, but stand by is what he told him. Oh, Coasty, what's happening? You go guns rock the cars, not so much. Yeah, I hear you on that, dude. I told you guys Coast Guard was here. See, if you guys think I'm making any of this up, look it right there. Old Coasty. What branch did he serve in? I'm going to give you guys 2 guesses. What's happening, Matt Morrison? How you doing, man? Yes, thank you, James Kawasaki. Nice to see you, man. If you can just take 2 seconds, the chat hides it like he's saying. Just retract the chat. Give me a thumbs up. It does help the algorithm. And look, so many of you guys are so generous every month with Patreon. Appreciate it a ton, guys. This is not cheap. Like any gun video, ammo video, I'm having to save up for quite the time because it's just nuts. I get no free guns, no free ammo. Super chats. You guys are awesome. But I get it. Everyone doesn't have extra money, but there's a couple ways you guys can help me totally free. Look, I hate big tech, whatever. That's a whole other topic. But right now, if you're still forced to shop on Amazon for any reason, my link is down there in the description. Anything you buy after you click on that link, just click on it, do your normal shopping, and a small percentage does help the channel out, and I put it all right back into it. And then the other thing is just tell your friends about the channel because it makes it more fun for us all to hang out on here. And what I really like is stuff in here where I see people truly encouraging each other, you know, and you know, you guys are really providing each other with a lot of answers in here, and I think that's awesome. So that's why I like to see as many people as possible. That's why I'm on here. I mean, I could just sit there and talk to like 1-2 people, and I have wonderful conversations with my friends, but it's like, no, we need more than 1 or 2 of us. We need to we need to all stick together. And here's where I want to encourage you guys. We're the normal people, okay? We can quibble and disagree on all kinds of little stuff, but as long as we still agree with life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, the Second Amendment, the First Amendment, that's normal. That's what this country was formed on. But if you're by yourself and it's only just you, and there's 10 other people telling you you're a freak, you're a reject, it's not normal, you're a bad person, it can wear down on you. And as much as I hear people say, well, these types of sites and chats are just echo chambers, I hear people say that. And I guess you're right, but I kind of disagree. Because of the reason I just said, we need peer pressure and we need positive peer pressure. If you know you're normal and you can hang out with a couple hundred normal people in a chat, well, then do it. Why would you want to reject that? Considering how the mainstream media, the oligarchy, whatever it is now that's trying to just control all of us, that's banning you from all your different accounts. You might walk around in public and the way you choose to breathe, you might have people condemning you for it. There's all kinds of people condemning you everywhere. So if that's what an echo chamber is normal people just reminding each other that we're normal and offering friendship and camaraderie and uplifting each other in prayer when people need it. Well, then whatever, I'll take that echo chamber. I think it's actually a good thing because we're not in here inciting anything. You know, we're not like sitting here trying to like come up with this massive, deep, dark. No, we don't do that. This is a good channel and good people that hang out in here. So I'll take it. I'd like to see as many of you guys hanging out as possible because there's certainly a lot of people in the world that are trying to take you down. And I get it. Rockford Ordinance, what's happening, man? He says, this is your best chat ever. Don't forget communications. Yes. Comms. Those little ham radios. I know you need a license. I get all that. Some people have said, well, will you really need the license? I don't know. I saw your super chat, Mark. I thanked you for it. Maybe you didn't hear me, but I appreciate it, man. I do. There might have been something that got, you know, once in a while something happens and it skips, guys. It's not intentional. I promise you it's not. And every once in a great while, somebody's so generous to leave me a super chat, and then I'm trying my best. Susan literally makes the skip on me. Delta Blues, thank you. I appreciate it. It's easy to feel. Yeah, he's right. He says it's easy to feel isolated and defeated if all you hear is mainstream media. Keep rallying the troops, my friend. Yep. This old chick, retired veteran from Mississippi, is with you. She said. There you go. See? I went to stereotype and I was dead wrong. Well, thank you, ma'am. Yeah. If all you hear is mainstream media, look, that's one of the main ways that these regimes like take over people. Is they make you feel isolated. They make you feel scared. And then someone comes along and promises that they're going to save you. And I think it's encouraging knowing that, of course, none of these people are going to save you. Are you kidding me? Why would you want them to save you? No, you'll save yourself. And you'll rely on your very close friends and family because that's all you need. And that's all you have anyways. And if there comes a time, a lot of good friends may need to unite, for a cause that they all believe in. But the government's not going to save us. The mainstream media is not going to save us. I'll tell you that. And you'll get real frustrated if you're looking up to them for too long, won't you? Real frustrated. Sergey, thank you. He says, I'm glad to help you out with money. Well, thanks, dude. I appreciate it, man. He says, we will do some stuff when I open the store. We need to stick together. Arm the Patriots. Yes, sir. Yes, we do. I've got a few extra. No, you can't all just come to my house. But I have a little bit in reserve if anyone needs it. We'll know if it's time, right? What's happening, Gary? How you doing, man? Yeah, the country's bad when we're the normal ones. No, I just meant normal. Come on. Come on, man. No, we're normal, meaning it's still normal to be patriotic. It's still normal to actually believe in this great experiment on self-governance. That's normal. Believing that these are rights that were endowed by our creator, that's normal. Other than that, of course you guys aren't normal. You guys are all a bunch of complete and utter deplorable. That's why I like you guys. Heck, I'm just a regular old person myself. Everyone says, why does he wear the same thing all the time? Well, it's not the same. I've got a bunch of gray ones, a bunch of blue ones, because I'm always working right up until the middle. My exhaust fell off. Luckily for me, a good friend of mine has a shop. I bought the parts. He put it up on the hoist. We installed it. So I'm still wearing the same shirt that I just installed an exhaust system in. So I never said we were highfalutin, Gary. I just said we were normal, right? Ooh, White Space Marine says, I'm married. Nothing scares me. Ooh, he sounds like a smart man. I think he was in the Marines, right? So he fought for his country. That didn't scare him. He wasn't scared of potential missiles or none of that. Bullets whizzing by him. But his old lady has him scared enough to admit to it. So, oh boy, you guys are funny. Smelly Walmart shoppers. There you go, man. Clinging to their guns and Bibles and religion, right? Is that what he said? Oh, boy, I don't care. Guerrero M, what's happening, man? I'm too fat to run, but my middle name is Mitchellek. Oh, if you can pull the trigger fast enough. Yeah. Don't mess with a guy that's too out of shape to run because he might just have to go straight for other options. Jane Locke, well, I know nothing scares you. That's a given. How long? When are you going to be out of Facebook jail, Jane? Jane's a patriot when she's been in Facebook jail so long. So long. She sent me a screenshot earlier. She's like, oh, they just changed it. She said, breaking news. It's now been changed to temporarily indefinitely. Till further notice. Look, they locked her in Facebook jail and threw away the key, which means she's probably doing something right. Oh boy. You guys from Michigan know you guys know what I'm talking about too. You guys know her. Don't mess with her. Vietnam vet. Jane's a good one. Happy to see you, Jane. Happy to see you're in Facebook jail indefinitely. Okay, I don't know all the legalities on the ham. Looks like you guys are hashing that out. Apparently, there's another type of radio. Look, Tommy Cox. Yeah. If SHTF, would it really matter? Yeah, I get what you're saying, man. Would it really matter at that point? I don't know. I don't think so. What's up with all these veteran chicks in here? What did I have? Mississippi chick. Yep, this old chick, retired veteran from Mississippi. We've got Jane Locke. I don't know, man. I think all you deplorable dudes that are veterans might get your butts whipped in here. What do you think? Nah, we're not going to fight amongst ourselves. We've had too good of a time tonight. Chuck R., thanks for the super chat, man. I appreciate it. Nice bike, by the way. I like that motorcycle. I've always liked seeing that bike. That's cool. He says this will buy you 22 long rifle rounds. Now, here's the next thing I should talk about. I just got off on a tangent, whatever, but all right, let's go over this article real quick here before I get off. And this is about the NRA. Look, when you talk about the NRA, you're always going to get somebody mad. I don't want to make you guys mad, but I do have a couple opinions on it. All right. Now it's going to play a commercial that I'm going to pause. Okay, the NRA. You guys know there's been a lot of stuff that's gone on. Many people believe that there's been some of the biggest gross mismanagement from the internal Wayne LaPierre's suits and his wife's haircuts, and there's been a lot, right? To say the very least. There's been stuff with the NRA that is like beyond, okay? What are you guys talking about? Let's not discuss the women in combat thing. We all know how that ends. Yeah? What's happening, webinar? I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. It's not me. It's the llama. Duh. I digress. Anyways, the NRA. Look, here's what it comes down to for me. They're filing bankruptcy, okay? Take a look here. The National Rifle Association has filed for bankruptcy and will reincorporate in Texas, the gun rights advocacy group announced Friday. So it goes on to say the move will enable long-term sustainable growth and ensure the NRA's continued success as the nation's leading advocate for constitutional freedom, free from the toxic political environment of New York, the NRA said. So the NRA claims it's in a strong financial condition, strongest in years, but it wants to move to Texas, where it has 400,000 NRA members and where it's going to hold its next annual meeting in Houston, 2021. So Wayne LaPierre is talking about how this is a strategic move. It's a pathway for opportunity, growth, and progress. So they're saying, hey, look, we're just going bankrupt to get out of the ties that bind us to New York, because that's where they were originally chartered in a very long time ago. Yes, New York was very pro-gun. Yeah. At one time, I'll emphasize, where they made a charter with the NRA, and for different reasons, that's where they felt it was the best place to go. Yes, New York was pro-gun at one time. I have to say it twice. Not for you guys, just for myself, because it's hard to sink in. So they're saying, hey, we're just moving for opportunity and for growth, and we're doing financially great. Maybe. But it says this news follows a lawsuit from New York Attorney General James in August that alleges the NRA violated state law governing nonprofit organizations, contributing to a loss of more than $64 million over 3 years. The civil suit also claimed that the group and 4 of its top officials, including LaPierre, diverted millions of dollars away from its charitable mission. James said in a statement on Friday, called the NRA both morally and financially bankrupt. And here's the quote from this James, which is a Democrat, liberal, obviously. The NRA's claimed financial status has finally met with its moral status, bankrupt. We will review this filing. We will not allow the NRA to use this or any other tactic to evade accountability and my office's oversight. So I don't know if that's her saying she's not going to let them leave New York physically, or if she's saying if they physically move, the lawsuit's still going to follow. Can they legally do this? I don't know. So there's going to be more that comes with this, but there are two sides to the story. I'm not going to stick up for New York, of course. These liberal prosecutors and attorney generals of New York, no. Did they have the best interest of the Second Amendment in mind? Of course not. Like, definitely not. However, just to be fair, I'd be willing to bet that the NRA doesn't completely have our best interest in mind 100% either. And I've been kind of appalled by a lot of the money that's been spent and mismanagement in the NRA over the years. I've talked about the NRA several times on here before, okay? And my view really hasn't changed. I've done plenty of videos against cancel culture. I hate cancel culture with a passion. We can adamantly disagree on things and not cancel each other out. Just because I don't like you or you don't like me, we can still exist. Now, if you come to take my life or my family, imminent harm, right? Irreparable harm or death, well, then I'll just take care of you and defend myself. That's different. I mean, you can't just cancel people with cancel culture. I don't agree with it. I hate it that the left's doing it now, and I don't want to do it here, and I'm still not gonna. So people say, well, hold on. You have a channel, so what you say has gravitas. No, I get it. I have a channel, but I'm just a regular dude. So I'm going to speak only for myself, and I'm not going to encourage anybody to listen to me because you wouldn't anyways. You're going to think for yourselves, and you always should. And you shouldn't listen to any YouTuber. Now, if I'm giving you advice on guns, yeah, there's certain things maybe listen to me on. I've been around. But when it comes to this stuff, don't listen to me. I've personally made the choice quite some time ago to stop supporting the NRA. Okay? I feel there's groups such as Firearms Policy Foundation Coalition, okay? Gun Owners of America, and other groups that I feel are using the money in a better way. They're being better custodians of my membership dues. And groups that I've not seen colluding with and helping write various assault weapons bans in the past and things like this. That's my own personal belief. I choose not to donate to them anymore. However, I don't want to see the NRA go away. Would I like to see Wayne LaPierre leave? Absolutely. Would I like to see it restructured, reformed? They need to be better custodians of our money. Now, when I say our money, I'm a lifetime member. You know, sure, they spent my money a long time ago on Wayne LaPierre's wife's hair. That's just personal reasons why I'm no longer following up with donations. Some people say it can't be repaired. It needs to be torn down and start over again. I don't know. I've heard really smart people say one side of it. I've heard smart people say the other side of it. Sergey says, NRA probably missed a convention moneymaker and are broke. Bankruptcy is a business deal, and it is a business deal. And they're also trying to change their charter. Okay? I'm not going to advocate that I want them to go away just because that's cancel culture, and I want to resist cancel culture as much as possible. And certainly if the NRA needs reformed, even if that is, as many smart people have said, from the ground up, you got to tear it right down, get rid of LaPierre, all of them, to build it back up. I don't want that to be at the hand of the New York Attorney General, because that whole like friend of my enemy is also my friend, that could work to a point, but not here. Okay, not here. I assure you, as bad as many people believe, and if you love the NRA, God bless you, that's fine. I'm speaking for myself. As much as I'm kind of appalled by certain decisions the NRA's made, I'm a lot more appalled by any New York government, you know, whether it's their governor or their attorney general. So this is kind of a crappy situation. It's real easy to say, well, they had it coming to them. And you can say that if you want. This is the New York Attorney General here, okay? So it's a crappy situation all the way around. Now, if they can go to Texas, certainly a way more Second Amendment friendly and supporting state than New York, that would probably be a good home for them. But there's two separate factors going on right now. But I do want them to still exist because I don't want to cancel them. And I would also note this, and here's another way to look at it. You know, resisting cancel culture. Now, on a totally separate note, if you notice, all the gun grabbers, the ones that truly want to ban all of our guns, that say, like, I'm coming for your guns, they spend all their money and time just dogpiling on the NRA, which kind of sucks. But the only nice thing about it is, it seems like that allows other companies, or not companies, but organizations, you know, nonprofits and whatnot, like GOA, FPC, many others. They kind of get to fly under the radar and just get stuff done because everyone's just dogpiling and suing the NRA constantly because somehow the left still doesn't get it. The gun grabbers, and there are leftists that love guns, by the way. People that hate the Second Amendment, hate guns, they all just want to dogpile the NRA, and it's kind of like they're like the bullet sponges, right? Like, send them out there first, and then we'll come through. You hate to say it that way, but they still do serve a purpose strategically when it comes to that. I guarantee you, if the NRA totally goes away, GOA will be getting sued, and they'll be getting just dogpiled by the other side. When I said left earlier, there's going to be one person in here that says, well, I'm left and I'm pro 2A. I get it. Most of the time, though, the left's anti-gun, and I think you guys know what I mean. It's kind of nice to have them there for no other reason than that. I'm certainly not advocating to cancel anybody. I personally do not donate, and I do not feel like they're very good custodians of my money. And I feel that I personally like to support other groups. And, Gun Owners of America would probably be right up there amongst the very top. So there you guys go. We'll talk about it more. We'll see what happens. New York saying, well, we're not just going to let you off that easy. So we'll see. Denny's plant-based journey with the super chat. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Many times when companies file bankruptcy, the courts require a change of leadership. CEO, president primarily. That would be good for the NRA. Couldn't agree with you more, man. Totally agree with you. That's basically what I was. It's going to take a few things, But I can totally not want to support them, but not advocate for canceling them. If anyone heard me say that, I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not. I hate cancel culture. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. This is where, member in good standing right here. Gun Owners of America. I also have a small monthly debit that goes to the, it's FPC, FPF. They're kind of both the same, but certain causes will be one or the other. Firearms Policy Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition. I don't know. I'm not a lawyer. Sometimes I'm donating to one. Sometimes it's the other. They're kind of two of the same. Mr. C, thanks for the super chat. I agree. He says, when do we have to organize before it's too late? That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that right now. First of all, I'm on YouTube. Second of all, I just don't know. I think about this stuff a lot. I don't think I'm a moron, but I don't think I'm a particularly smart person either, and I'm not George Washington. But I don't think you were literally asking me that. I think you were just putting that out as food for thought. Look, I think about this stuff a lot. There's certain things I can give you guys advice on, like I just said, from a practical matter, over at RTG, I think the 10 mags and the ammo can's a great buy right now. I'll help you guys as much as I can, but that's a great question, man, and I'm asking it like you are too. I just don't know. If that makes me look weak, I'm sorry, but I don't think you were asking me specifically, were you? But I'm going to be honest with you guys. I just don't know. Sometimes you just know when it happens to you. Just like when you find the love of your life, or there's all kinds of, sometimes you can't really plan for it. It just happens and you just know. And most big decisions in life, it just kind of comes to you and you know it's time, right? Wish George Washington was still alive right now. I'll tell you guys that. Mike McClure with the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. Said, just wanted to say thanks for all you do. And thank you. I appreciate it. Wow, look at that black bear. Jeez. Whew. Hopefully you were packing something in case it. I mean, that's a beautiful animal. But, wow. Thanks, Mike. I appreciate it, man. James Kawasaki. Thanks, man. I appreciate the super chat. He says, network with locals. Yeah. Pray, repent, prepare, buy guns. I agree with you, man. Like I said, in the end, this is just a battle, in my opinion, of good versus evil. It's really all it comes down to. That's what's been about for a long time. What was Jesus told? What was it, Peter? Right? He told him to take up his sword and to fight. And he said, well, what if I don't have a sword? He said, sell your cloak and buy a sword. And there are times in the Bible where it talks about there's times for peace and there's times for war. And there's a spot in the Bible, I don't have all the verses memorized. I probably should, but I don't. Where they say to turn your swords into plowshares. But then it also says to turn your plowshares into swords. So, I don't know, man. Threaded for my pleasure. Thanks for the super chat, man. Nice to see you. Just saying hi, never missed a stream, bro. Just working on Fridays. I know, man. You always listen. So many of you guys have been around here for so long, and I truly do believe that's why. Because of all the awesome people in the chat is why more awesome people keep coming back, right? There he is, Saw Gunner Fred. How you doing, man? What's up, dude? How's it going? Another good old Michigan boy in the house. You know what? There's like 1,000 awesome people I didn't say hi to tonight, and I'm sorry, but you know what? I do definitely go back and read all these. Like, I seriously do. Like, when I ask you guys questions, taking a little survey, like, you know what makes me feel so bad? But I can't, because if I did, I wouldn't be able to really get through any kind of logical stream, right? But I come back and I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that message. And just to let you guys know, I do go back and read them all. And that's why when I say, like, there's an awesome bunch in here, well, I would know, right? Don't argue with me. You guys are an awesome bunch. I would know, and that's a fact, and you can't argue with me on it at all. Daniel DeLeon, what's happening, dude? How you doing, man? Threaded for my pleasure. He came down to Monroe County. We were fighting for 2A sanctuary counties. That meant a lot to me, man. I like you. Yeah, some people are talking about. Some of you guys are still supporting the NRA a little bit. Hey, that's fine with me. Whatever. Yeah, the more we support, the better, Ron Ellis says. You know what? That's totally fine with me, dude. I'll be honest with you. And I am. I'm not going to lie about any of this stuff. It's a touchy subject, but it's totally true. I'm a lifetime member of the NRA. In recent years, I've chose not to send any extra, okay? But I've only got so much to go around. It's not like I'm some fat cat just sitting here where I have $1 million and I'm just keeping it. No, I have a limited amount that I can donate to gun rights groups, and I do. And I've just personally decided that since there's only so much to spread around, you know, I've kind of transferred what I would have given to the NRA every year over to these guys. That's just my personal preference, though, right? I just think the gun owners of America, they're a little more shall not be infringed, but the NRA has a lot of power still. And they do serve as a huge, huge punching bag. And don't forget that. There's a little bit of 3D chess with them being around. Even if you hate them, and I'm not suggesting you do, but even if you hate the NRA, think about it. They are helping shield a lot of these smaller, maybe a little more effective groups. They're a huge, huge shield. They're just a magnet for all the hate, just sucking it up. Sergey, are you still on Facebook? You better start giving our friend Jane Locke some tips here. Jane Locke, she's an awesome lady. And she is an awesome lady. She can't keep herself out of Facebook jail, Sergey. So here's the thing. How much are you going to charge her? $100 an hour, Sergey? He's going to offer you private lessons. Okay? He'll get in on a Zoom with you, Jane, and he's going to teach you how to stay out of Facebook jail. Okay. Guys and gals, Sergey, he's over on Facebook / I Will Not Comply USA. I'd suggest going over there and hanging out with him if you guys aren't in jail. I'll definitely add that. Is my better half still in here? Where's my old lady at? Can you add me to that? Is that bad? Hey, I can't afford a secretary or an assistant, so when there's too much for me to keep track of, I'm like, where's my old lady? Woman, add me to... She's not in the same room, guys. That's why I can get by with acting like this, duh. Add me to I Will Not Comply USA, woman. All right. Dinah Pez with the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. You didn't say anything, but I appreciate it. Now, some of you guys go to say something and it cuts it off. So if you were trying to leave me a message, I'll take a peek here and see. Yeah, Richard Head. It wouldn't be a stream if this didn't happen at least once. So I ramble on for 2 sentences. Then somebody comes in a lot smarter than me. That's what I was trying to say. The NRA is the shield, while the GOA is the sword. To a point. I mean, as far as being like a magnet. Uh-oh, there we go. Where's Jane Locke? I need a burner phone. Sergey sells burner phones, don't you? In his gun shop? Sergey's gun shop and burner phone service just to get... Come on, you're from the Soviet Union, Sergey. You got some connections, don't you? Hook Jane Locke up with a couple burner phones. Oh, boy. He's like, come on, dude, I wasn't in the KGB. Like, everyone from Soviet Union. Oh, boy. Jane Locke, she needs a burner phone. Is anyone in that business? Come on. Garage Guy 879. How you doing, man? What's happening? Now, he's a revolver guy. I don't know if you were here earlier. Someone was asking about a nice Colt Python. National Guard is here. Sun Chaser 78. According to Susan Wiki, they call her Susan Wiki. Susan Wiki. I can't read some of this stuff. It's true. Polly Walnuts, what's happening, man? Never heard of RTG. Look, guys, this is seriously how this is, but we got to play a little bit of chess with these people. It's RTG. Now, that's not the full, but you should be able to find. I think I need to get a website going. That's what I need to do. Just a separate website, right? Like totally off of here. So I can say, hey, guys, there's a deal. Just go over to my website. I need to figure out how to do that. I don't know. I'm just a dude like sitting in my messy shop. I wasn't really prepared for this channel to ever be over 100 subs, and I'm shocked that it is. But at this point, I get enough questions and just people that are wanting to network. I probably should get a website going at a certain point. I don't know. All right, I'm getting ready to get off of here, guys. It's been a lot of fun. I'm just going to say hi to a couple more people. I might have missed a couple, but yeah. Delta Blues. I knew I liked her. Look at this. I've always been partial to you Michigan boys. See? I like her. Oh, boy. People know how to get on my good side real quick. Paul Sharon. Hey, woman. At Blue Girl. And see, woman, get me signed up for that. Get me over on Sergey's. And when you're done, make me a sandwich, right? I can totally get by with it, guys. Like I'm still at work. She's not here. Oh, boy. What's happening to Joe Bob? How you doing, man? I hit Joe Bob. Scooter popped up. I was going to say hi to you next. What's happening, Scooter? Scooter, Joe Bob, what's the difference? I don't know. I think Joe Bob's a Southern boy, if I'm not mistaken. David Noonan, an excellent chat. Thank you. I appreciate it. I agree. The chat was awesome, guys. I seriously can't wait to go back and read it, like big time. Good night, John Williams. Nice to see you, dude. I couldn't afford the plane ticket to Texas, but I didn't need to be. My boy John Williams, he's driving me around Texas right now. I like him. Yeah, right. Linda Young, you're pretty cute, actually. All right, I'm going to get out of here. You guys are totally awesome. I love seeing you guys. And I agree, the chat's awesome. Like, I seriously look forward to it. So hopefully you guys made some new friends tonight. I noticed there was a lot of people in here. Maverick, man, you've been around for a long time. I know. I went to Charge Lami's Light. Chuck R. There you go. I don't want to disappoint anyone at the last minute. I forgot Lami's Light. I'm letting it slip, guys, in my old age. The production level's going downhill, but I've still got some fight. So, hey, I guess we can't have it all, right? Thank you, David Martinez. I appreciate it. He's subscribed. So, awesome, guys. I'll be back here, same time, same place, 9:30 Eastern time every Friday. Make sure you check out my other channel, Patriot EDU. If you can't remember, just go to 2A EDU, look at suggested channels, and you'll see it right there. It's called Patriot EDU. My friend and I are doing some videos together. I do some videos on my own over there, and just come hang out with us. All right, guys, I'm out of here. Thanks, Rockford Ordnance. All right, thanks for watching, and have a good one.